Let's prepare on the riveted connection. So first, what is rivet? Okay, so rivet and bolt, these both are some two types of connections that is used for connecting the steel plates. So in steel structures there will be several plates, we have to connect it by some means, no? So these connections are done by this rivet or bolted. So bolt means we know already some nut will be there, but rivet means it is similar to bolt, but it will be just beaten onto the steel plate. There will be no nuts for connecting it. Okay, so this is an old method and now this is not used at present. Okay, so this is the shape of a rivet given here. So it will be like this. So the bottom portion will be called as shank and the top portion will be called as head. So this head will be of different shape. It can be like this circular or it can be flat also. So generally the circular head is only used, and the shank dia, so this is only mentioned as the size of the rivet. So the size of the rivet will be equal to dia of shank. Then the rivet holes, that is the holes that has to be given in the steel plates for riveting this one is called as effective size and we term it as D. Okay, so this is important. We term it as D. And here up to 25 mm we should give extra 1.5 mm. Okay, so 1.5 mm plus the rivet size should be given. So this is up to reaching 25 mm only, and if it is greater than that means you should go for 2 mm plus rivet size. So this is your effective size or D or rivet holes, whatever you can call it as. So this is very important. And then comes this Unwin's formula. So this Unwin's formula is given for the nominal rivet diameter. So this nominal rivet diameter is denoted as phi. Okay, so this phi and D are different. That is effective size and this is the nominal rivet diameter. Okay, so this will be equal to 6.04 into root T, where phi and T are in mm, and the next one is 1.91 root T, where these both are in centimeter. So this T is nothing but the thickness of the plate. And then comes the grip of the rivet. So grip of the rivet means it is nothing but the distance between the two heads, that is the inner side of the rivets. Okay, so that distance will be called as the grip of the rivet and it should not be greater than 8D. And then comes the classification. So based on heating it is denoted as hot driven and cold driven. So cold driven is more strength than hot driven, and based on method of placing, field driven and sharp driven is having more strength, and based on driving force, hand driven and power driven, whereas power driven is 20% more stronger than the hand driven rivets. And then comes the rivet heads. So I told you, there are different types of heads. So first one is snap or round head. So this is generally used for connecting the structural steel members. And the next one is flat counter shank. So this is to have flat and flush surface. And the third one is tacking rivets. So this is used to make two sections act together. That is, if you are making a structure to act together in compression members means we use this method, and this also prevents the buckling. And the next is the specification. So we are going to see some specifications that are very important for this rivet connections. So the first one is pitch. So pitch means what is? It is the center to center distance of the rivets measured along the length of the member. So here I have given a rectangular like structure member and you can see 6 rivets here. Okay, so the length, the longer side is the length. Okay, so along the length they are having rivets there. So the distance between two rivets along the length, so this is called as your pitch, and the line joining the rivets along their length will be called as the gauge line, and the distance between the rivets in this side, that is along the width, means we call it as the gauge. That also we will be seeing in the next. Okay, so here we are going to see some values. So these are all very important. So just don't get afraid of seeing this. These important factors alone, if we remember, mean that is enough. Okay, so first let us see the minimum pitch and maximum pitch. So normally minimum pitch is 2.5 times the nominal dia, and maximum pitch is 60 times the thickness of the plate or 200 mm, whichever is lesser. So this is for tension members. If it is a compression member, means 12 times the thickness of the plate or 200 mm, whichever is lesser. Okay, and I have told you, special rivet is there, tacking rivets. For that it should be 32 times the thickness of the plate or 300 mm, for which the plates are not exposed to weather, and if the plates are exposed to weather, means it should be 16 times T or 200 mm. Okay, and another special case is given here, that is nothing but if angles, channels and T sections. So we know all these, no? So if these sections are to be connected, means the pitch should not be greater than 600 mm for compression member and should not be greater than 1000 mm for the tension member. So this is all about the pitch. So minimum, maximum, these are very important, and knowing about the stacking rivets and connecting the angles and channels, it's also better. Okay, and the next we are going to see is about the gauge. So in the gauge, it is the center to center distance of the rivets measured along the width. So we already saw that. And the third is the rivet line or gauge line. So that also is shown in the picture. It's line along the rivets where it is placed. And the D is the edge distance. So this is also another important thing. So the distance between edge and center of the nearest hole. So we are having a structure like this now, and we are having a rivet like here, means the center of the rivet to the edge. So this distance is called as the edge distance. So the minimum edge distance should be 1.5 times the D for rolled machine flame cut edges, and it should be 1.7 times the D for sheared hand flame cut edges, and the maximum edge distance is equal to 37 mm plus 4 times the thickness of that plate. So now we are going to see some rivet connections. Okay, so there are two connections present, that is a lap connection, and another one is the butt connection. So first let us see about the lap connection. So this lap connection, so these are two plates. So here one plate is there, here one plate is there, and we have connected it centrally by the rivets. So this is lap because it laps one another, okay, and connected by one rivet. So this method is called a single riveted lap connection. In the same second method, if you see, means it is placed in the same position but two rivets are used. So it is called as double riveted lap connection. So in lap connection there is eccentricity due to lapping, and so it causes bending. Okay, so always lap is not preferred, or it is not less safer than the butt connection. Okay, the next one is the butt connection. Here they will be using a cover for the connection. So that is the only difference here. So if you see here, this is one plate and this is the second plate. Okay, so in the middle you see the separation, no? So these are two plates, and the upper area you are seeing a single plate, no? So that is not a plate, it is actually a cover. So the cover plate is used in addition to the steel plates for fixing them together. Okay, so this is the difference between lap and butt here. So here one rivet is given for one plate and another rivet given for another plate. So this one is called a single riveted single cover butt connection. But in the second case, if you see, means it is single cover single cover double riveted. Okay, so single cover double riveted butt connection. And then in the third case, if you see, means in both the sides, that is in the upper and the lower, they are given the cover. So it is called as double cover single riveted butt connection. And in the fourth case, if you see, means it is double riveted double cover butt connection. So these are the different types of connections. So in butt connection, for single cover, the thickness of the cover should be 1.25 times the main plate's thickness, and for double cover, if you are providing, means 5 by 8. 5 by 8 means it's around 0.6 something will be coming. So 0.6 times the main plate thickness is enough. And then comes the failure. So this is also an important topic here. So failure, what are the types of failure that is happening in this riveted connections? Okay, the first one is the shear failure in the rivets. So when the shear stress in the rivet becomes greater than the actual working stress of the rivet, means this shear failure happens. And the next one is the bearing failure. So this is when the plate is strong in the bearing but the shank gets crushed, means this bearing failure occurs. Third one is the shear failure in the plates. So this is in plates. Okay, so when the oven driven shanks placed at a lesser edge distance, edge distance means it is somewhat nearer to the edge. Okay, so the oven driven shank means the shank having more length. Okay, so at that time only this shear failure in the plate occurs. And then fourth one is the bearing failure in the plates. So this is occurring when the bearing stress is greater than the working stress of the plate. And the fifth one is tearing failure in the plates. So this is completely due to the tensile force only. So when the rivets are stronger than the plates under the tensile force means this will happen. And the sixth one is splitting failure. So this is when the rivets, when placed at the lesser edge distance, this splitting failure happens. And we call this as edge cracking also. And the next is the permissible stresses in the sharp driven rivets. So this is a special case, no? So for that we'll be studying these values. So this they have asked in the objective questions. So the types of power driven and hand driven is given, and the strength of the axial tension, shear strength and bearing strength are given. So for that strength, what are the stresses, that is permissible stresses to be used, is given in this tabular column. So it is 100, 100 and 300, and for hand driven it is 80, 80 and 250. So you may not be clear about this axial tension, shear and bearing. So when you study the strength of the plates, you will be clear with these values. Okay, so for field rivets, so this is for sharp rivets, no? If you are using field rivets means the permissible stresses should be reduced by 10%, and if wind load and earthquake loads and all, if it is considered, means the permissible stresses should be increased by 25%. So these both points are important. So here comes the strength of the rivet. So now you will be clear that why we have studied that permissible stress value. Okay, so there are three strengths which are very important for studying this rivet connections. Okay, the first one is the shearing strength, second is the bearing strength, and third one is the tearing strength. So here the shearing strength is for the rivet and the bearing strength is also for the rivet, but the tearing strength is for the plate. Okay, so the first shearing strength is n times pi d square by 4 into tau Vf. So n is the number of rivets and pi d square, d we know it is the effective size of that holes, and tau Vf is the permissible shear stress. Okay, and then second one is the bearing strength, it is dt into sigma p. So again it is dia and effective dia and thickness of the plate and permissible bearing stress. So here also if many number of rivets are joined means you should multiply it with n. And the third one is the tearing strength of the plate. So here it is a area, net area into sigma 80. So it is given as B minus ND. So B is the width of the plate minus N number of rivets into dia of the rivet into thickness of the plate into permissible axial tensile stress. So here this is a tensile strength area, no? So because it is shearing strength, so we use axial tensile stress here, which is approximately equal to 0.6 Fy. So these three formulas are very important, and this is the main area for the design of this rivet connections. So you should be very clear with this. And after doing this, what we'll be taking is the strength of the rivet, no? So we'll be taking the minimum of the first and second. So this first and second, the minimum of these both will be taken as the strength of the rivet, and the lesser of the strength of the rivet or strength of the plate. So now we will be having one value here, and the another value is the shear tearing strength of plate. So the lesser of these two will be taken as the strength of the joint. And the next one is the number of rivets required, so which is equal to axial load by rivet value. And then the efficiency of joint, so this is equal to strength of connection. Strength of connection means it is the strength of the joint, so we saw, no, which is lesser than the rivets value and the tearing value. So that is only given here as strength of connection divided by the strength of the solid plate into 100. So this is also an important formula which is asked in the objective questions. And the last is just a note given here, that is patterns. So when the rivets are placed in the steel plate, this is a diamond shaped rivets and this is a chain shaped rivets. Okay, so this diamond shaped fixation of this rivets are more efficient than the chain riveting, because this will reduce the cover plate material and also the main plate width can be reduced, so which is very economical also. Thank you, and keep watching for the next lecture on bolted connection.